Now then, welcome to Black Man Presents. Are we okay? Splendid. Right, we are going to be looking at 10 forgotten British children TV shows from the 1970s that will blow your mind. This has come from Catherine's Way on YouTube, so if you pop yourself over there, go and like and subscribe her channel. It's good. Okay, before we start, just want to thank my sponsors, City Live Radio, broadcasting 24/7 across the UK and the North East, and also Leo's Legacy as well, a great charity that you should give a lot of love and support to, in love and memory of Leo, 2-year-old little boy who sadly passed away from a former brain tumour. So pop yourself over there and give it a lot of love and support. Okay. Let's reminisce on our childhoods in the UK and see what we forgot about.
The 1970s, a decade of flares, disco and children's TV that was, well, unlike anything else. Back then,
hands up with wet flares. Yep. You weren't in distress, you just had huge trousers that always blew you on your face when a strong wind came along.
The 1970s, a decade of flares, disco and children's TV that was, well, unlike anything else. Back then, kids' shows weren't afraid to be whimsical, surreal or even a little creepy. They were imaginative, bold and often very weird. Today, we're dusting off the VHS tapes to rediscover 10 British children's TV shows from the 70s that you might have completely forgotten about. Some will bring back warm, fuzzy memories, while others might make you wonder how we ever sat through them without being totally freaked out. Either way, it's going to be a wild, nostalgic ride. Let's dive in. Let's start with Crystal Tips and Alistair. If you grew up in the early 70s, you might remember this quirky little animated series that ran from 1971 to 1974. The show followed Crystal Tips, a girl with an enormous purple puff of hair, and her dog Alistair, who looked like he hadn't seen a bath in years. Episodes were only 5 minutes long and were, well, a bit strange. The plots were loose, the animation was wobbly, and the music had a jazzy, experimental vibe that made the whole thing feel like a bohemian art project. But for all its oddities, there was something utterly charming about the world of Crystal Tips and Alistair.
It looked like something you would see on a Beatles video. I vaguely remember it. I can't ever remember watching it, but I do vaguely remember it. It's the purple hair I remember. But yeah, it does remind me of an animation we'd see on a Beatles video.
Experimental vibe that made the whole thing feel like a bohemian art project. But for all its oddities, there was something utterly charming about the world of Crystal Tips and Alistair. It was like a warm cup of tea with a little bit of psychedelic sugar stirred in. From the surreal to the sweet, Fingerbobs is one of those shows you either remember vividly or have completely blanked out. Until now. It first aired in 1972 and starred Rick Jones, who sat at a desk with his paper puppets, Fingermouse, Flash the Tortoise, Gulliver the Seagull, and a pink Scampy. The entire show was just Rick and his fingers.
It was brilliant. Very basic and simple, but it mesmerised us kids. It really did. And it was really creative as well. But, paper puppets, that's all it was. A guy sat with these gloves on, telling a story with paper puppets. And it was a great TV series. I think it was huge back in the 70s, and it was even went into the 80s as well.
Rick Jones, who sat at a desk with his paper puppets, Fingermouse, Flash the Tortoise, Gulliver the Seagull, and a pink Scampy. The entire show was just Rick and his fingers, narrating gentle little stories in a calm, soothing voice. In an era of constant overstimulation, Fingerbobs was almost meditative. It's hard to imagine today's kids sitting still for it, but back then, it worked. There was something magical about its simplicity. Next up is Bod, which first aired in 1975. This one is pure British whimsy, a bald, stick figure character wandering through a simple cartoon world, meeting quirky friends like PC Copper, Aunt Flo and Farmer Barleymow.
This was a brilliant TV show. Derek Griffiths, who's still going now, brilliant child entertainer and all-round TV personality from the 70s and 80s and into the 90s. He was great. I believe he sung the theme tune to this. And it got made into a rave song. But it's great. Again, it was a bizarre cartoon because you couldn't tell who Bod was. It looks like a Star Trek character, to be fair. But everybody had all these jobs, and they never went to them. They all hung out with this kid. But again, bizarre, but you loved animation like this. You loved kids' cartoons like this in the 70s.
Pure British whimsy, a bald, stick-figure character wandering through a simple cartoon world, meeting quirky friends like PC Copper, Aunt Flo and Farmer Barleymow. Every episode included a riddle or puzzle, and then, out of nowhere, Alberto Frog and his amazing animal band would pop up to play a tune and choose a milkshake. The whole thing had an oddly calming vibe, even if it felt like a peek into someone's strange dream. For a show.
This is where I like milkshakes from that programme. I always wanted to know what a milkshake was, and when I got to taste my first milkshake, I love it, and I still do. Still have a milkshake. Why not? I may be old, but still young at heart and love a good milkshake.
And his amazing animal band would pop up to play a tune and choose a milkshake. The whole thing had an oddly calming vibe, even if it felt like a peek into someone's strange dream. For a show so minimalist, it left a lasting impression on anyone who watched it. Now, let's get a bit chaotic with Pipkins. Running from 1973 to 1981, this puppet-filled series had a ramshackle charm that could only have come from the 70s. The star was Hartley Hare, a puppet who looked like he'd been found in an attic somewhere, and sounded a bit like it too. He was joined by Topop the monkey, Pig, and Tortoise, and together they worked in a rather chaotic workshop. The show had a slightly gritty edge to it, with the characters often bickering or getting into trouble, but that's what made it feel so real. Looking back though, Hartley was definitely a puppet.
I don't remember this show. Looks like someone's poo pet rabbit that the taxidermist has just messed up and they've passed it off as a kids' TV puppet.
Workshop. The show had a slightly gritty edge to it, with the characters often bickering or getting into trouble, but that's what made it feel so real. Looking back though, Hartley was definitely a puppet you wouldn't want to bump into in a dark alley. Of course, no list of 70s kids shows would be complete without Rhubarb. This animated classic first aired in 1974 and was all about the antics of a green dog named Rhubarb and his sarcastic pink cat neighbour, Custard. Each 5-minute episode was packed with energy, made even more chaotic by the show's iconic wobbly animation style. It was silly, over the top, and had a theme tune that you're probably humming right now. Admit it, it's impossible to forget. Now let's shift gears to something a bit darker.
Rhubarb and Custard were awesome. Richard Bryars, I believe, was the narrator of that. And it was only a couple of minutes, only short cartoon, but it was brilliant. And yet the theme tune was awesome. That was the thing about kids' programmes in the 70s and 80s. They had brilliant theme tunes. You don't get that now. You can remember the theme tunes to Thundercats, He-Man, Rainbow, and Rhubarb and Custard, Danger Mouse. These are all theme tunes that you can remember. Can you remember, kids, can you remember your theme tunes from programmes from the early 2000s or whenever it was you were kids?
Wobbly animation style. It was silly, over the top, and had a theme tune that you're probably humming right now. Admit it, it's impossible to forget. Now let's shift gears to something a bit darker. King of the Castle. This live-action series aired in 1977 and was the kind of show that probably gave you chills as a kid. It followed Roland, a schoolboy who was bullied and ended up transported to a strange fantasy world inside a dilapidated lift. The castle was full of bizarre and creepy characters, like the Sinister Vane, and Roland had to navigate this surreal world to find his way back home. It had that eerie vibe that only 70s kids' TV could pull off, just unsettling enough to keep you hooked. Time for something a bit...
I really don't remember that. That's another one, even though it was broadcast when I was alive, I do not remember that at all. One I remember from the 70s was Grange Hill. That caused a lot of controversy. It was like a kids' soap opera written by Phil Redmond, who created Hollyoaks and Brookside. But Grange Hill was a great show. It was all set in a comprehensive school. You followed a load of kids going through the years from year 7 up to 11. And they dealt with some really good issues, some true issues like drug addiction, teenage pregnancies, bullying, things like that. But parents complained about it. You can't be doing that. You can't be showing teenage pregnancies on kids' programmes. Why not? We had girls who were pregnant in our school when I was growing up. We had kids who had solvent addictions and drug addictions. It was all real life, but parents wanted to blink you from all that. They wanted to try and protect you, but it just couldn't happen. You cannot blinker your children from real life scenarios, and that's what that programme did. It highlighted those real scenarios and said, these things exist, you can't hide from it. but they tried to censor it on TV. Parents complained about it. Tosses.
Had to navigate this surreal world to find his way back home. It had that eerie vibe that only 70s kids TV could pull off, just unsettling enough to keep you hooked. Time for something a bit more cheerful. Chorlton and the Wheelies ran from 1976 to 1979 and was a stop-motion masterpiece of pure chaos. Chorlton, a ridiculously happy dragon, lived in Wheelie World, where all the inhabitants were little round creatures who rolled everywhere. The villain, Vanilla the Kettle Witch, was a witch who, yes, lived in a kettle, and she spent most of her time trying to make life miserable for the Wheelies. The show was as mad as it sounds, but that...
It was a great show. You can actually watch it now in the UK on ITVX. They've got the series on there, and it was great. It was, again, just simplistic kids' TV. The dragon was... It was weird because the dragon was Yorkshire and the witch was Welsh, where you would think the dragon will be Welsh and the witch be Yorkshire, but I don't know, was a Yorkshire witch. But he used to go around going, "Hello, little old lady, who buy it?" He seemed a bit bothered. And then the witch was like, "Oh, that crazy old dragon." Brilliant. Absolute brilliant entertainment for a kids' TV show.
The villain, Vanilla the Kettle Witch, was a witch who, yes, lived in a kettle, and she spent most of her time trying to make life miserable for the Wheelies. The show was as mad as it sounds, but that's exactly why kids loved it. Then we have Jamie and the Magic Torch, which first aired in 1976. Yes. Every episode started with Jamie shining his magic torch and opening a trapdoor in his bedroom floor to travel to Cuckoo Land, a bright, psychedelic world full of eccentric characters and wild adventures.
This was a show, again, had an awesome theme tune to it. It was a rock theme tune.
Jamie and the magic torch. Down the hill to Skelter, faster and faster towards Cuckoo Land.
And again, it was a bizarre TV programme, but it was great. Again, from the makers, I think it was Cosgrove and Hall who made that, and Chorlton and the Wheelies. Great TV programme, and again, great for kids. It was simple, it was filled with colours, noises that entertained children. That's what got you addicted to it. And the theme tune, you meet an adult my age from that era and ask them to sing the theme tune to Jamie and the Magic Torch, and I bet you they could do it.
Jamie shining his magic torch and opening a trapdoor in his bedroom floor to travel to Cuckoo Land, a bright, psychedelic world full of eccentric characters and wild adventures. It was pure escapism, with a theme tune that gets stuck in your head the moment you hear it. If any show captured the surreal energy of the 70s, it was this one. And how could we forget Rent-A-Ghost? This ghostly sitcom started in 1976 and ran until 1984, and it's one of the most fondly remembered shows on this list. It followed a group of ghosts who ran an agency renting out their supernatural services, though they weren't exactly reliable, with characters like Timothy Claypole, the mischievous jester, and Miss Popoff, who vanished every time she sneezed. It was as silly as it was spooky, and kids loved it.
It was a great show. Loved it. And I don't know if I last heard that Ben Stiller had got the rights to that to make a film version of it. Could be wrong, but that was muted around the industry, that he bought the rights and he was going to bring it back, but nothing surfaced. The actor who played Timothy Claypole was a brilliant actor. He was so fun and energetic, and Miss Popoff there is now in Coronation Street. But it was a great show, bizarre show. Again, a good theme tune. I think it just came to an end, sadly, because the actor who played Timothy Claypole sadly passed away. But yeah, it was again very out there, bizarre, but awesome kids show.
Exactly reliable, with characters like Timothy Claypole, the mischievous jester, and Miss Popoff, who vanished every time she sneezed. It was as silly as it was spooky, and kids loved it. Finally, there's a bunch of fives. Unlike the other shows, this was a gritty teen drama that ran from 1977 to 1978. It followed a group of kids at a comprehensive school dealing with real-life problems like bullying, family struggles, and fitting in. It was grounded, relatable, and showed that kids' TV didn't always have to be about fantasy. It could tackle real issues too, and there you have it. 10 unforgettable, or perhaps very forgettable, children's TV shows.
So that kind of sounded like it was a starter for Grange Hill, but I thought Grange Hill was on TV by then. I think Grange Hill was mid 70s, 76, 77. So if that only ran for one series, maybe that was the testing ground for Grange Hill, because it did cover the same subjects. So it'd be interesting, that. I've never heard of that. But, yeah. Might have to look into that one.
1977 to 1978. It followed a group of kids at a comprehensive school dealing with real-life problems like bullying, family struggles, and fitting in. It was grounded, relatable, and showed that kids' TV didn't always have to be about fantasy. It could tackle real issues too. And there you have it. 10 unforgettable, or perhaps very forgettable, children's TV shows from the 1970s. They were weird, wonderful, and sometimes downright bizarre, but they were all part of what made growing up in the 70s so unique. Which ones do you remember? And did we miss any of your favourites? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another trip down memory lane.
Yeah, get yourself off to Catherine's Way, like and subscribe her channel. She's got some good videos on there. But yeah, I remember a lot of them. The only one I didn't really remember was Pipkin and that last one. Don't remember them at all. But the others, Gemini Magic Torch and Charlton and the Wheelies were awesome. They really were great shows. But that's what kid TVs used to be like. It was very out there, but it was just simplistic, and it entertained kids, mainly because of obviously the bright colours, the music, and that's what we loved. And we turned out all right compared to kids TV shows of today, where they make you so image conscious. You become anorexic, or you're bullied to hell because you're not wearing a branded bit of clothing. And it is, isn't it? That's what that's how kids' TV's gone these days. It really has. I mean, we remember them for the good things, for the music, for the storylines, especially the likes of Grange Hill. But parents complained about it because they tried to smother you too much, and they didn't want you knowing about all that. But it's real world. You cannot, stop your kids from learning about drugs and things like that, because it's out there. I mean, these days it's rife compared to what it was when we were kids. The only thing that was rife when we were kids was probably heroin and glue and solvent abuse. They were the big things. You always see glue sniffers kicking around when we were kids. But these days, they just want to fucking knife each other and beat each other up to a pulp. They want to kill each other. Why? Why? We're not like that. We didn't grow up like that. We went out and played on the streets, played football, enjoyed bloody life, not trying to kill each other. Yeah, we had bullying and things like that, but kids these days don't know that they're born. They really don't. They just look at your games and things like that, and it's sad. It's sad that the next generation, all they're wanting is violence, to kill each other, and violence, and it's running amok, being lawless, and it's like, why? Because at the end of the day, what you do now is going to have severe consequences in the future. It really is. And when you're old like us and you want to chill, your family and everything like that, and just have a nice relaxing life, you won't get it because of what you did when you were growing up. Anyway, back on a cheery note, I will be back with some more videos very, very soon. Thank you for my subscribers. If you've not subscribed yet, please do like and subscribe and ring that bell. You will be notified when I do upload more videos. Try and get as many as I can a week, whether it's music, movies, whatever. I will do videos and get them on there. Also, I want to thank my super thanks peeps on YouTube as well. I've had quite a few of them come through. Thank you so much for that. Very generous. And also buy me coffee peeps and my patrons as well. Thank you very much. I'm also on TikTok, as you could see on the video, and I've got my own website, blackmanpresents.co.uk, and I'm also on X as well, the Rigger Blackman. I'm everywhere. So go and like and subscribe to those, and I will subscribe to you back. Simple as that. You do to me, and I'll do to you. Happy days. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back very, very soon. Stay safe, and be good.